Hey guys, so it's the 9th of July today. I haven't given you an update in the first week. Um, my filming setup will be changing really soon when I get the hang of the webcam and my new mic and everything. But I just wanted to give you an update. I'm 4 books down. In July I read Kink Stories, it's an anthology collection. I don't have it with me because it's at my friend's. I ended up giving that 3.5 stars. Some stories were really good, some were okay, and some just had no point to them. But I appreciate what the stories were trying to say. I also read Confessions of a First Time Mum by Poppy Dolan. I ended up really enjoying that. It was really humorous. If you're a parent yourself or you grew up with much younger siblings, then you will probably relate to a lot of the humour and get a lot of the jokes. Really enjoyed that. Then I finished I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy. That 5-star read, I understand the hype now all over BookTok and TikTok. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and as someone who grew up watching iCarly, I never really watched Sam and Cat, grew out of it by then, but I definitely watched iCarly, and yeah, it was heartbreaking. So there's that. If you want more information about it, be warned going into it, there are a lot of heavy stuff in there with eating disorders, anxiety, mental health conditions. There's a lot that goes on in there. If you wonder why I'm looking down, it's the Squirrel Community Day on Pokemon Go. I've had it basically since Pokemon Go came out, and one of my goals has been to collect all of the original Kanto region Pokemon. And the two of my favourites that I haven't got yet are Blastoise and Venusaur, because they require so many candies to actually evolve your Pokemon into them. So on Community Days you get a lot of one type of Pokemon. And today it happens to be Squirrel, so I'm trying to catch as many squirrels as I can to get a Blastoise, because Blastoise is awesome. So, nerdy moment. And then just last night, yesterday, I binged read Beartown by Frederick Backman. Beartown is one of his earlier books, but I know Beartown, along with A Man Called Ove, or Uwe, people really rave about. Now, I read Anxious People, I think in 2020, 2021, and I really enjoyed that. That was one of his newest works at the time. So I thought I'd give Beartown a go. I did end up really enjoying it. I gave it 4.5 stars, but the first half I was on the fence about, because it's really like Anxious People, which is something I enjoyed. It's very character driven. You get to know these characters inside and out, what's going on in their lives, what they're thinking about, where they are emotionally, all that stuff. Part I wasn't enjoying is it's very heavy on the sports element, because Beartown is a hockey town, and town is obsessed with hockey. A lot of the characters play hockey, so it really focused on sport. Now, when it comes to sport, I'm fussy. In anime, I actually really enjoy it. Like Kuroko no Basuke and Haikyuu are some of my favourite sports anime. But when it comes to books, I am particularly fussy. I don't mind it if the character plays sports or competes in sports, but I don't like it to be completely centred around the sport unless it's something I either do or am interested in. So if it's anything around swimming, volleyball, things like that, I'm more interested in those sports. And while I've always wanted to learn how to ice skate. Hockey isn't a sport I'd be interested in. If it was, you know, figure skating or something like that, then maybe I'd be a bit more interested in it. But stuff really starts to kick off at the halfway mark. Like, I don't think it's a spoiler because it's on page 1, but someone apparently dies. But the name of the person who dies and the name of the person doing the killing aren't there. So that's a mystery, figuring out who dies and who committed this murder. And that starts to kick off at the halfway point and progresses from there. One thing I didn't know going into Beartown that I would have liked to have been warned about is there is a pretty graphic SA scene. It is extremely relevant to the plot, so it wasn't that, it was kind of graphic and it seemed to come out of nowhere. It did make sense later on, but it really took me by surprise, and as someone who has been through that, it was a bit triggering, so be aware going into that. There's a lot of suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts, so yeah, be aware going into it that if you have a history with that or you find it triggering to read, you might want to give Beartown a miss, because the second half especially, that becomes a really big thing. But I did really like the discussions around rape culture and community silence. So yeah, that was great. Now, because it was the book club pick for June and I still haven't read it, I am reading Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. Now, I read, I can't remember what the first book was called, the first Finlay Donovan book, and loved it. It was great, it was funny. Obviously we follow our protagonist Finlay, who is a writer, so very bookish elements to it, and it's just a great little book if you're looking for a proper escape into the most unrealistic situation, but one of the funniest. And obviously I did like it as, you know, a standalone book if you just wanted to read the first book. I think it ends off in a pretty nice way. Yes, it does leave a big opening for the sequel, but I felt it was a pretty much self-contained story. So I don't know where book 2 and 3 are going to go, because there's another book after this, Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, and I don't know where that is going to go, but we shall see. And then I'm going to lean over here and get them. I brought 3 books back from my friend's house that I'm going to be trying to knock out this month. 2 are TBR jar picks that you've already seen, but I've made no further progress in. So the first one is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. I have been a quarter of the way through this for 3 months. I was really enjoying it. Starting to get a bit more into those creepy, horror-esque paranormal vibes. But I just put it down because I was having a really bad reading month at the time. I was really busy with a lot of things and my mental health wasn't great, and I haven't picked it back up. I do have the audiobook for this, so I will be continuing with that, and hopefully after Finlay Donovan and a couple of others I've got in the next couple of weeks for blog tours, I will be knocking this one out. The 2 blog tours I have are, I'll get to those in a second actually. The other one from a TBR jar pick that I'm hoping to get into, because it's been on my shelf for years now at this point, and I kind of went off the author, but I do want to give it a go, is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. Obviously I like the historical fiction setup of this. Historical fiction normally is not a genre I enjoy, but when it's combined with fantasy or sci-fi, I do tend to enjoy it. Like, I really enjoyed Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco, which are historical based. I didn't really enjoy Kingdom of the Wicked, but for my Goodreads challenge, where I took inspiration from Emily Fox, who does a Goodreads reading challenge where she reads Goodreads winners and runners-up from the previous year. This wasn't one of them. I did read the Legend series by Marie Lu, and it was okay, typical YA, but I haven't really read anything else by her, and it kind of put me off. So I will be getting into this, being as it's not that long either. It's only just over 300 pages. So, and then one I recently picked up, and it's still got a sticker on it because I'm terrified of taking it off, is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. Now, I have seen this around, and people really enjoying it, really enjoying Bella Mackie's other works, so I'm going to give it a go. So, now that I've spoken about those, I will get to the blog tours. I do have to read A Guide to the Dark. I don't really know anything about this one. I just kind of read the synopsis on the email I was sent and saw the cover, and I thought it sounds interesting. I've got to read that by the 21st, so I've got just over a week to read that, because I pre-schedule a lot of stuff to go up on my blog. You can see my cat there, Mr. Boots, just chilling in my window, waking up from his nap. And that's by Miriam Matui. As I said, I don't really know much about that. And then I also have The Third Daughter by Adrienne Tooley. And these blog tours are literally a couple of days apart, so I have to at least knock one of them out very, very soon to have time to read the other. Again, I don't know much about this. It was just a case of the cover looked interesting, and that's about it. A lot of these blog tours I sign up for, I typically just skim the synopsis and see the cover, and if it looks interesting, then I pick it up. I'm also binge watching a lot of BookTube at the minute, catching up on a lot of the people I watch regularly, because I haven't been watching a lot of it recently, but it's been kind of motivating me, seeing other people read and getting me into it. So, Mr. Boots, he's just chilling right there. Bootsy. Hey, babe. So yeah, that's what I am right now. Obviously I'll give you an update a bit later on. Finlay Donovan I am reading on my iPad, which I am now filming on, so I'm not going to be able to film any clips for that. But when I do get to the physical copies and the ebook copies on my Kindle, then I'll update you. So I will check in with you in a bit. Hey guys, so brief update. The noise you can hear in the background is my fan, because it's quite humid here. But I finished 2 more books since I updated you last. I read Eric by Terry Pratchett, or Faust Eric. It has 2 different titles. This is book 9 in the Discworld series, but it's the only one I owned, and I didn't really know if I wanted to commit to a 40 plus book series, so I thought I'd give it a go. Ended up really enjoying it, gave it 4 stars. We're following a teenage boy named Eric, who is a demonology hacker, but he isn't very good at it, and rather than summoning a demon, he ends up summoning an incompetent wizard named Rincewind, and they get up to some shenanigans. But it's a fun little story. It's less than 200 pages, and it introduces you to the magic and different races in the Discworld series. Then I finally finished Madly Deeply by Alan Rickman, the Alan Rickman Diaries. I had to put it down at one point just after the death of his mother because it was getting to me. Yeah, if any of you have read it, you know that last year is extremely heartbreaking. Um, so yeah, I've just passed it along to my mum, which is why I don't have it show here. She literally just opened it and started reading it. So I do have 2 books coming up for blog tours, A Guide to the Dark and Third Daughter, so I will be reading those in the next few days and updating you on them. I also have Finlay Donovan Knocks Them Dead for my book club, which I'm halfway through right now. Not enjoying that as much as the first one. It feels like a bit of a rinse and repeat, so I'm hoping that changes in the second half. But other stuff I have on my TBR. The Reboot duology by Amy Tintera, so Reboot and Rebel. Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, which is the not the last book in the series, but the last book that's currently been translated into English from Tales from the Cafe. I do want to finish Meddling Kids and get to Kingdom of Back. Whether that will be this month is unknown. But 2 newish ones I put on my TBR are The Last Supper by Rosemary Schrager. And if you watched either Ladette Lady or certain episodes of MasterChef, Rosemary Schrager is a character, and this is a murder mystery with a chef protagonist. So I'm excited to give this a go. It has almost cozy mystery vibes, so we shall see what this one does for me. And then the other one, which is over there, is Windswept and Interesting by Billy Connolly. Billy Connolly is one of my favourite comedians. Next, the likes of Lee Evans and Michael McIntyre. So I'm excited to go into that. So this was just a brief kind of update, because I know I haven't really been great at updating and filming anything recently. And it's just because I'm all over the shop at the minute, but I am hoping in the next couple of weeks I will be able to finish quite a few books. I'll definitely be able to finish Finlay Donovan, A Guide to the Dark and the Third Daughter, and then I'm hoping to read The Last Supper and finish Meddling Kids, as well as making a start on the Reboot duology before the end of the month, so we shall see how that goes. And then next month I'm really going to be cracking down on the TBR job hicks that I haven't read, and quite a few books have been sent for review. I also wanted to let you know that if you go to my website, because I've upgraded it, I've done a lot to it, but basically I've implemented this new system that if you make a donation on the site, regardless of the amount, but like if it's over $10, it doesn't have to be a huge amount of money. As long as it's over $10, you can request a book for me to read, and I will read it. So you can recommend me your favourite book, or one you just want to see me read in the genres I read that I haven't read, like a popular sci-fi fantasy, or something completely out of my comfort zone. I have had my first donation and first request, and the book for that I will be reading is Red Rising by P.S. Brown. It has been on my TBR for a while. I own the first 3 books, I just haven't picked it up. So because of that, next month Red Rising will definitely be on my TBR, and if you want to make a request to me, head over to my site. But I will be back to update you in the next couple of days. Hey guys, so quick update. I finished Finlay Donovan Knocks Them Dead. Really enjoyed it, not as much as the first one because I wasn't in love with the first half of the book, but the second half was great. I'm going to end up giving it 4 stars. And then my next book I have decided on is Reboot by Amy Tintera, and this is the first time in quite a few vlogs you'll actually get to see me read something. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't know much about this. Apparently it follows people that have died and then woken up, and these people are reboots, and they typically have more physical abilities than regular humans. Never read anything about Amy Terror before, but I know a lot of people rave about her books, and for almost everyone, this is the duology that got them into Amy Terror's writing. And I find that YA is typically a lot easier to read. While this is 365 pages, the audiobook is just under 9 hours, so I'm hoping between tonight and tomorrow I can smash this out. And then hopefully I will either start on How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie, or Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. So you're going to actually get some actual reading content from me this evening, so stay tuned. But before that, I'm going to go and cook some. Reboot by Amy Terror, and I'm now 35% into it. Really enjoying the story. Pretty obvious it's going to be quite romance heavy, but I'm excited to see what it goes, and more of the reboot society, the human society, learn more about this reboot reservation. This is really going to be a really short interlude, but yeah, I'm going to get back to reading, and I'll give you an update when I'm a bit further on in the book. So, see you soon. So, last but one update. So I'm 80% through Reboot now. So they've escaped from Rosa, they've gotten to Austin, and they've gone to find Callum's family. He doesn't get a very good reception from his parents, but one of his friends treats him very nicely. And Ren kind of realizes that she was right, and that, you know, Callum shouldn't have gone to have seen his parents, but she understands why he felt the need to. So, now they're in Austin, and the only thing left to do now is find Adina. She's supposed to be on assignment that evening, so I have a feeling very soon they're going to be bumping into her, but I don't really have, well, I do, but it could go either way. So the two theories I've got for the ending of this is that either they rescue Adina comes with them, and they make it to the reservation, or the other way I can see this going is they meet with Adina but get recaptured by Hark. So I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but I've only got like 65-ish pages left, so I'm excited to see how it actually ends, and whether or not I will be reading Rebel. at some point in the future. So that would be interesting. So yeah, so I'm gonna read the last couple of pages and finish the last, how long's left in the audiobook? It says an hour and 42 minutes, but I'm listening on 2.5 speed, so it's probably going to be about 30-ish minutes. And I started my 7.5 hours today of reading, and I currently have 2 hours 47 left. Right? So that'll probably get down to about 2 hours by the time I finish Reboot, and then I'm probably going to jump into A Guide to the Dark and try and read a little bit of that tonight. Or I might start something else. I'm not sure yet, but I will keep you updated and let you know my final thoughts when I'm done. So I've now finished Reboot. Yeah, it went the way I was expecting. In the end, we did have a bit of an action-packed scene. I was hoping for a bit more out of it. Maybe at least one death would have been interesting. But yeah, I ended up really enjoying it. It was nothing new, nothing special about it. No, very much typical YA for the genre, sci-fi, dystopian. But yeah, it had some cool concepts, cool premise, interesting setting. But yeah, apart from that, nothing overly unique or new about it. But I did end up enjoying it, so I think I'm going to give this a 3.5, 3.75. And probably going to move on to A Guide to the Dark, because I do need to finish that really soon. So that's what I'm probably going on to next, and you'll see me again soon.